Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. I am Kahoula from the J-MENA project, and we are glad today to be presenting everything related to study in Japan. We thank you for your time, for your participation, and we are glad to cooperate this time with the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia. Special thanks to Madame Koike Chiaki from Japan, from the Japanese Embassy. Also, Madame Hunaida Qsouri from the cultural section at the embassy. She will join us soon. And also we thank Monsieur RAMI DERBEL from Japan. So he's joining us soon also. Again, we hope to enjoy this Study in Japan webinar today. We thank you for your cooperation. So you can turn off the video to make sure that the session will go smoothly and will be open for a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Do not hesitate to write your questions and inquiries in the chat box, and we will be glad to answer them at the end of the webinar. So again, allow me to share the screen and to start our presentation about studying in Japan. So again, I'm Kahoula. I'm from the J-MENA project. I study in Japan. I'm currently working at Kyushu University and at the J-MENA project, and we will be glad to share our experience and to share the necessary information regarding your future studies in Japan. So in Japanese, we say yokoso, welcome. Welcome to Japan, welcome to the Japanese world, and to be open to the different opportunities. Today's session, we will be presenting the J-MENA activities, the project, also in honor to invite the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia and Dr. Rami from SAGA University. So in this webinar today, we will have like 4 sections. The first section is about introducing your future studies in Japan with the J-MENA. Then we will explain about the MEC scholarship, the famous scholarship, Japanese scholarship. And then we will talk briefly about your research plan, how to develop your research plan as a required document for your future studies. And then we listen to successful experience with Professor Rami DERBEL. Dr. Rami DERBEL. In the meantime, allow me to check the our participants in the waiting room. So we make sure that everyone is following us and getting the necessary information. Great. So what is J-MENA and what are the main activities of the project? J-MENA is the abbreviation of Japan, Middle East, North Africa. The project aims to improve the number of students coming from the MENA region. So today we're cooperating with the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia to help students get the required information on how to prepare their future studies in Japan. It's good to know about the different opportunities, and it's good to plan for future studies. The project is placed among the projects under study in Japan. It's funded by the Ministry of Higher Education from the Japanese government, and it's located at Kyushu University. The main activities are in cooperation with other 30 Japanese universities. We will check the list together. And currently, the project is active with Egypt, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and we would like to strengthen our network among the North African countries, mainly our country, Tunisia, and everyone is welcome to join us. We are still having other participants, so let's let them join us. So here is the campus. As we mentioned, the location of the J-MENA office at Kyushu University. You can see here in the screen the Ise campus, one of the single largest campuses all over Japan. And here also you can see the map of Japan. So Kyushu University is located in Fukuoka City at Kyushu Island, in the south of Japan, as you can see here. I will make pointer option so you can follow me. Yeah, so we are here in Fukuoka, and today I'm in Tunisia, so we are talking from Tunisia. Okay, so allow me to admit our friends also, admit all. We have many participants today. We are glad to have you here. So we thank you for your cooperation. So here are the list, or here is the list of the Japanese universities. There are 30 universities, and we are working on improving our network. Why we are cooperating with these universities? Simply because they provide the English-based programs. Means students from outside Japan, they can study in Japanese universities in English. They can pursue their studies all in English. We will check the details, the requirements, etc. in further slides. Okay, so here we still have our friends. We accept them all. So including, for example, if you're curious about the list, Tokyo University is one of our cooperative members, the University of Osaka, Kyoto, Yokohama University, University of Aizu, and the list is so long. Okay, all these programs, all these universities, they offer the international programs for students to study in Japan. So what are the main activities of the project of the J-MENA? Simply working on promoting the different opportunities for students, cooperating with embassies, with ministries, holding education fairs in different countries, and being active through the SNS platforms so we can reach more students and they can know more about the different opportunities. We are also being active with successful students who are currently studying in Japan. We interview them and we would like to share their successful experience with the prospective students. So you can join us through the YouTube channel and you can watch and learn more about studies in Japan, how to apply and how to successfully guarantee your future studies in Japan. We are still having our students. So we are slowly introducing the opportunities so everyone can understand. And again, if you have any question or inquiries, do not hesitate to write it down in the chat box. So I know most of you know Japan, the Japanese map, but we would love to introduce little brief points about Japan and why we are talking about studying in Japan. Japan is made, or it's geographically composed of main big islands, 4 islands, and we are placed at Kyushu University or at Kyushu Island, and of course Tokyo is placed on the Honshu Island. So here, brief introduction about Japan, the Japanese map. Also, the Japanese culture is unique. It's famous by the sushi, by the different plates, the authentic food, which is unique for the country. So everyone knows about the Japanese traditions, kimono, lifestyle, the sakura flower, the unique nature. So these makes Japan a unique destination for students to consider and to pursue their studies. Also, no one can deny that Japan is one of the most modern countries in the world, the biggest metropolitan city, Tokyo. So all these prove that Japan has the highest potential to welcome students and to offer them the unique educational system. It's a mixture between getting your degree, learning about your field, also learning about a new culture, new lifestyle, which offers or which will make you a unique, you will get the unique experience. So now let's move to know about the necessary steps that everyone has to know before coming to Japan in order to study in Japan. First, it's very important to gather information, like the activities we are doing now. We are trying to provide you with the necessary information so you can know about the different opportunities. Then you will choose school, which is good for students, and it depends on your background, on your preferences. Some students would like to join some cities, so they consider the availability of the universities in this area, etc. Would you excuse me a little bit? So Dr. Rami would like to join us, but he is facing a technical problem. So excuse us so we can provide Dr. Rami with the suitable information. Dr. Rami is a successful MEX scholar. He got the MEX scholarship, and now he's a current assistant professor at SAGA University, one of the Japanese universities offering the English programs. So we are welcoming him to join us, and allow me to take a moment to provide him with a good link. So we go back to our presentation. Thank you for waiting. And let's go back to the different steps that everyone has to know before coming to Japan. So as we mentioned, choosing a school, choosing a university, which is good for you, and then try to follow the requirements to enter the university, like taking tests, all the required documents that we will have or we will know in further slides. And it's good to start applying before the closure of the deadline, which is very necessary to make sure that your application would be considered to be examined. Some universities will ask for entrance exams, some others will ask for an interview. It depends on the program you're applying for, on the university. So we are providing the general information, and other specifications may vary depending on the program. Also, students has to know about the admission procedure being updated and to follow it carefully. And then you prepare for your arrival to Japan, for your new life in Japan. So most of the students consider Japan to continue their undergraduate programs, means after getting your high school degree. In Tunisia, we call it baccalaureate. Donc, many students apply for their undergraduate programs. Others will consider the graduate schools, master's degree, and etc. Again, excuse me for these small interruption. Here we are welcoming Rami Sensei. He's joining us. Okay. Good. So we're back to our presentation talking about the general qualifications. So it's important to know that if you're interested to apply for a master's degree, make sure to have your previous certificate, which is your bachelor's degree. Same, if you're applying for a doctoral program, make sure to have your master's degree. This is the main general qualifications, okay? So let's move to the main question. Do I need to learn Japanese before studying in Japan? And the simple answer is no. Why? Because, as we mentioned before, many Japanese universities offer English-based programs. Means students are not required to prove their ability of mastering the Japanese language. Instead, they are asked to prove that they have a good level of English, which is reflected by TOEFL or IELTS. These are international certificates, and students has to get ready to prepare for them to get a good score to guarantee their successful application. So here we are summarizing the general requirements of the national universities. For example, you can check the application period. Usually it's, let's say, 7 to 9 months before the enrollment day. The eligibility score, TOEFL or IELTS. These levels may vary depending on the program, on the university, and we highly recommend to get or to do your best so you can be nominated for the scholarships or for the program. Because let's be honest, it will be competitive, so please do your best. And we forgot to mention that in Japan, there are more than 800 universities. And these universities are like national, private, public. So the opening day, or let's say the enrollment date, and the requirements may vary. So we advise you to be in contact, for example, with the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia or in your country, also with the J-MENA project to get updated by these information and to make sure that your application is ready. For example, if you move to the private universities, they have more than one opening call, so you can get more than one chance to apply and to get your successful application. Okay, so here are the general requirements, and you can contact us for further details. As a J-MENA project, on the last September, we organized a Study in Japan fair. And in this fair, all the universities participated and they presented their English-based programs. So we highly recommend to check the YouTube channel so you can watch the full sessions and you can get the required information regarding the necessary information regarding the application deadline, the kind of documents, what kind of opportunities, the fields of study, the faculties, all these information are available on the Study in Japan fair. Also, it's good to know that the academic year in Japan starts on April, the first semester. So the first semester is from April to September. This is the first semester in Japan. Second semester starts from October to March. So why it's good to know that Japan has a different academic year, simply because they would like to cherish the beginning of the new year with the sakura season, sakura flower. So those who will apply and get the scholarship through the embassy, they would start, or they will start their studies by the next April. More information will be shared with Madame Koike and Madame Hunaida from the embassy. So do not hesitate to be with us and join us till the end. So here are some examples of the English-based programs at the different Japanese universities. For example, those who would like to study engineering in the undergraduate level, they can consider Kyushu University. They can study the different topics like applied chemistry, civil engineering, mechanical, electrical engineering, etc. Also, the University of Tohoku, they offer English-based programs for undergraduate students in these different fields, and the list is so long. We can also consider the University of Kyoto, etc. So these are the programs for undergraduate programs. About the graduate programs like master's and Ph.D. programs, it's more about laboratories, research, so we highly recommend to be in touch with the Japanese professors. More information will be shared in the third section. If you'd like to know more about the different opportunities, we highly recommend to consider Study in Japan. It's a website where you can know more opportunities about the different universities. For example, when you enter the platform, you can select planning studies in Japan, and you can type your background, your field, and they will give you the list of universities offering these programs in English regarding your background. Here is the QR code, so you can scan it, save the website, and of course, you can contact the J-MENA for future investigations. Due to time, I would like to summarize or to tell you that living in Japan is not that expensive. Of course, it's related to the city where you're living, but in general, if you're planning to study in Japan, do not have to worry about the living costs. We can manage that in the Q&A session. Also for tuition fees, let's say that Japan is one of the most affordable, or let's say it has most of the affordable universities for students. For example, the University of Tokyo, it's one among the top 30 universities in the world. It's a national university, and the tuition fee per year, it's less than $5,000 per year, which is incomparable if you would like to compare it to other universities. So why not consider Japan? This is one of the things that really makes Japan special. Also, in terms of accommodation, students do not have to worry about their accommodation. So the universities offer dormitories, and the payment for rent will be not that expensive, and everything will be provided by the university, by the support center. So do not have to worry about your life in Japan. We welcome you to join us through the SNS platforms, Instagram, Facebook. We would love to be in contact with you and to support you for further applications. Now we would like to move to Madame Koike and Madame Hunaida from the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia. So they would like to present about the famous MEX scholarship. Koike-san, yoroshiku onegai shimasu.
Hello everyone. Oh, Kahoula-san, 聞こえますか? Can you hear me? Great.
No, I would.
Okay. So nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. I'm Chiaki Koike from the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia. And I appreciate Ms. Kahoula-san also for this great initiative to have this session, to organize this session. So today I'm going to talk about the Japanese government scholarship, so-called MEX scholarship. I'm going to mainly focus on the embassy recommendation process. So I hope you will get a better understanding after this presentation. So, yes, can I have the next slide, please? Yes. So Japanese government scholarship is offered by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology of Japan in any field. So that means if you're willing to study in Japan, whatever the subject is, you can apply for this scholarship. This scholarship started in Tunisia in the year of 1977. Since then, we have sent more than 300 Tunisian students to Japan, and they have successfully completed their study. And please, yes, the next one. Yes, thank you. And at the moment, we have two categories of this scholarship here in Tunisia. The first category is a research student. This is for students who has already obtained university degrees, but they are still wishing to pursue to gain the master or PhD degree in Japan. This year, we have selected 5 master students and 1 doctoral student, and they are about to leave for Japan in this April. And second category is so-called College of Technology. This is for those who have already completed 12 years of screening. And this year, in April, the 3 of the College of Technology students will depart for Japan. Yes. Can we let's move on to the next slide? So let me talk about the application procedure. There are 2 ways to get this scholarship. The one is application through the Japanese embassies. So we, Japanese embassy, we select and we recommend the successful candidate to the next, the Ministry of Education. And then after that, the next we'll discuss with the Japanese University or College of Technology to decide which school the student will study based on the preference. So recruiting targets differ by countries and region. This means that in Tunisia, we have 2 categories, as I said. But if you are not the Tunisian nationals, every country has different categories for this mixed scholarship. So please contact the Japanese embassy in your home country. Second application is through the Japanese universities. This is based on the university exchange agreement between university, home university in Tunisia and the Japanese university. So then Japanese university will conduct the examination for those who are willing to study in Japan. So further detail, please contact your current university, or Ms. Kahoula-san will maybe share her own experience after a while. Yes, can I get the next slide, please? And this is the selection criteria for the embassy recommendation. So in order to get this scholarship through the embassy recommendation, with the embassy recommendation, you have to be a Tunisian national, and your age, you should be younger than 34 years old for the graduate level. So you are supposed to be born on or after the 2nd of April, 1989, if you apply for the scholarship this year. And for the undergraduate or the College of Technology student, you should be younger than 24 years old and born on or after the 2nd of April, the year 1999. And about the language requirement, as the Kahoula-san already mentioned, well, you have to have a good level of English to conduct your research or to study in Japan. However, it's not must to have the Japanese, a good level of Japanese. However, we recommend, or like, at least you should have the good willingness to learn Japanese. It helps you, your ordinary life in Japan, of course. And about the good grade during the school career, in generally speaking, in average, our successful candidate, and they get 2.3 out of 3 GPA. Yes, can we move on to the next slide? Yes, and this shows the selection process. The application procedure takes nearly 1 year. So this year, the application period starts from April, and the deadline will be the middle of May. So by that time, please prepare your all document necessary and to send it to our embassy. And then in May up to June, we will do a paper-based screening to invite the selected candidate for the written exam, which is conducted at the end of June. For the research student, the exam subject will be the English and Japanese. And the College of Technology student will take competitive exam, which include mathematics, science, and physics, and etc. And after the written exam, we will invite, again, shortlisted candidate for the interview at the embassy in July. And in early August, we will announce initial result. That means that we will decide the student who we recommend to the next in early August. And after that, the next will have replacement placement discussion with the Japanese university or the college of school. And finally, the final result will come out in the February of next year. The students will depart for Japan in April or September or October, it depending on the starting time of your university or your school. Yes. Thank you very much. And I'm going to talk about the commitment of the selected candidate. This is for the research student. But before you're leaving for Japan, the selected candidate must contact the university to find the appropriate supervisor. So you are required to contact the university that you're studying and to find your supervisor to guide you your research. And another requirement or the commitment is that most of the fellows are required to take 6 months of intensive Japanese language course in Japan after arriving in Japan. And then they will pass the entrance exam to gain the master's or the doctoral status. Yes. And it's about the duration of scholarship. So depending on the student course of study, the scholarship will be provided for between 1.5 years to 4 years. For the master student, sometimes the university provides 1.5 years, the class at the course for 1.5 years. In that case, the scholarship will be provided for this duration. And most of the master course takes 2 years. So in that case, you will be provided 2 years of scholarship. And for the doctoral student, 3 years, like you will be provided this scholarship. However, for them, the research student, the scholarship can be extended. This means that the scholarship will be extended until your research will be finished. And for the College of Technology student, 4 years, it takes 4 years to finish this course because it includes the 1 year of Japanese language training at the beginning of your stay. Yes. And then, sorry, I can't. Oh, great. So finally, I'm going to talk about the scholarship benefits. So this scholarship covers round-trip air ticket and tuition fee, and monthly scholarship. It's around 900 or like 1,100 US dollar. The student will also benefit from the National Health Insurance of Japan, which covers 70% of your expenses. And that, as Kahoula-san already mentioned, our academic year begins in April or October. So that is your university or your school will decide when, like, which time of the year you are supposed to arrive in Japan.
So excuse us, our friends. We ask you to turn off your mic. We thank you very much for
Yes, sure. Well, I was like, from where should I go back to? Can I start with this slide or should I go back to the previous one?
Here.
Is that okay? So okay. So I'm going to talk about this on this slide. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, of course.
Okay. So like finally, I'm going to give you the information of the scholarship benefit. So this scholarship covers around trip air ticket and tuition fee and monthly scholarship, which is around 900 or 1,100. And the student also will benefit from the National Health Insurance of Japan, which covers 70% of your expenses. And as Kahoula-san mentioned, our academic year in Japan begins in April or October. So that is your school will tell you which timing of the year you are supposed to arrive in Japan. Yes. Can I get the next slide, please? Yes, this is the useful links. So we have our website and Facebook. So for further details, please check our website and Facebook. And yes, thank you very much for your attention.
So thank you very much, Koike-san and Ms. Hunaida and the Embassy of Japan in Tunisia for your cooperation, for providing us with this information. We highly appreciate it, and we hope that students would have the necessary information about everything regarding studying in Japan. Now, on the time, we are still having our friends who would like to join us. So in this time or in this session, we would love to share more information about your future studies in Japan. Like Koike-san mentioned, some documents are required to be prepared in order to guarantee successful applications. As we mentioned, for undergraduate students, all they have to do is to follow the application process and get ready. For graduate programs, another document is required, which is called a research plan. So first, I would like to make sure that everyone is seeing the screen. Can you see my screen, Koike-san? So everyone, can you see the shared screen? Okay, good.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I can.
So here we are presenting brief guidelines for students, those who are interested to apply for master's or PhD's programs, on how to successfully write a research proposal. First of all, we all know that in Tunisia, our studies are conducted in French. So this time, the students are asked to prepare the research plan in English. So this is maybe one of the small challenges for students. So we highly recommend to start from now reading, checking other documents, getting the ideas and the style of the academic writing. So here we would like to share the definition of research proposal, what is a research plan, and how it should be in order to get the attention of the Japanese professor. So this document is a required part, as we mentioned, of the graduate school, and the purpose of it is to being able to communicate in writing, and the student or the future researcher has the potential to contribute to the professional literature. So you will develop a document where it is clearly and academically written, it's organized, and it's very precise. So here we are giving you like small hints and small notes, so you can refer to them while you are preparing your document. Also, we would like to let you know that some questions are needed to be asked, and they are asked by you. You are the prospective researcher, and your research plan would have the ability to answer them, okay? So the first one is, what is your research proposal used for and why it's so important? One of the main challenges is to make your future supervisor convinced by your research plan, okay? And how your research would address the gap or build upon existing knowledge, and how your research links to the department that you are applying to, especially the laboratory that you are applying to. So also students has to refer to these points to make sure that they are on the right path. For example, what previous research provided a foundation for my research? So it's good to read about previous research publications in order to know what's going on in this area and to get the inspiration and to build your gap, the niche research. Also, where does my research fit into the current research? And what is lacking in the research? So you will define the methods, variables, the concepts. All these would help you to develop a concise research plan. And how does my research fill the gap in the current research? So to summarize these points, a research plan is a document that shows that you have the academic ability to develop, to think, to read, and to look for solutions. It has to be precise, simple, and it has to include some innovative ideas. So it's not about getting the most innovative ideas or solutions. It's all about getting the reasonable and the academic thinking provided by the students. How can I get inspired by these ideas? Simply by reading, looking for research projects which are mentioned or published on the laboratory website, reading about the publications of the professor you are intending to contact, and slowly you can develop your own idea. And of course, you have to mention what is the importance of research, why my research project is important, and how it will contribute to the field I am interested in. As a J-MENA project, and in order to help students get the ideas, we are regularly organizing academic seminars in cooperation with the Japanese professors from the Japanese universities. These professors are providing lectures on different topics, and students are welcome to join us to get inspired by the different fields of research and to be in contact with Japanese professors, because also one of the good things is to receive a letter of acceptance from a professor in the future steps, which would help you to apply and make sure your application will be hopefully accepted. So for these academic seminars, you can join us through SNS platforms. Do not hesitate to contact us, and we would be glad to update you and to welcome you. So as a final notes, let's make sure to not be too wordy on our research proposal, and it's good to consider relevant sources and not fake sources. It's good to be precise and to not focus on too much or minor issues. And as we mentioned before, it's good to convince the professor. So we have to use strong arguments that prove the validity or that our research plan is necessary and it has to be done in the future. Concerning the size, concerning the number of words, you can follow these. Of course, it depends on the program you're applying for. For example, master student is required to prepare like simpler, less detailed research proposal than a student applying for a doctoral degree. So these are the general requirements. You can check and ask your future supervisor for more guidance, and we would be glad to introduce the basics and get organized, which is very important and very necessary. So by these, we think that we are done with this session, and we can ask Dr. RAMI DERBEL from SAGA University. He is a previous research MEX scholar who got the scholarship through the embassy and currently living and working in Japan as an assistant professor. We would love to hear from him his successful experience and get some tips and advice on how to successfully guarantee our future studies in Japan. So we hope that he is able to join us. Dr. RAMI DERBEL.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you, Kahoula?
Thank you very much. So the floor is
So
yours.
I'm really glad to join you today.
Thank you.
And sorry, my background, actually, I was doing a symposium right now before entering. It's we just organized symposium, Japan, Italy, and Tunisia.
Can you hear
in
me?
Collaboration. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Who's it?
Okay, sorry.
Okay, I was only.
Okay. I muted Dr. Rami by mistake. So Dr. Rami, can you unmute yourself? So please, everyone,
Okay.
please everyone, make sure to turn off your mic so we can have a smooth session. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Yes.
Thank you, Kahoula. So, as I said, I'm my voice is a little bit low because I was like kind of busy recently. I just organized the symposium with ENO, National School of Architecture and Urbanism of Tunisia, and SAGA University, my university here, and Palermo University. So hence the background. Totally unrelated with.
It's totally good.
So
perfectly the environment. So we thank you.
Thank you very much. So I will start my presentation with no further ado. Can I be made so I can share my screen? I think it's already okay. It's already there. Okay. So let's share the screen now. Just one moment. Okay. Can you see my presentation on full screen?
Now it's okay. Perfect. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Rami. I'm I'm from Tunisia, obviously. I would like to speak about my own
Oh, so
experience.
which topic is
Can you mute some the other microphones? Thanks. So my own experience as a next alumni, and share with you how it worked for me. First, let's start with the introduction. So before going to Japan, like most of Tunisian people, I didn't know so much about Japan. I knew about the cooperation that led to have that bridge in Rades. I knew a little bit about Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, etc. But I wanted also really a challenge in my life. I wanted to not go to France to do my PhD like most of Tunisian. I wanted to learn a new language, get in a new culture. So I went to Japan because of all these reasons, because also I love the food, the culture, and the nature here.
Wow, صراحة فما لا فما سيجارو.
Actually, one moment, please. I think you can exclude, some people if you want from the. You can just you can actually exclude people if they are not interested on following. So yeah, I went to ENO in Tunisia, l'École nationale d'architecture et d'urbanisme. I graduated there, and I was really interested on both Tunisian and Japanese architectures. So I moved to Japan, to SAGA University. So SAGA is not known in Japan, in Tunisia, definitely. SAGA is here. It's in Kyushu Island, in this island. So here is Osaka, here is Tokyo, and here is SAGA. It was really nice to move here. Actually, first when I came here, it was because I wanted to do the research in this area with Professor Mishima, who's the professor I contacted, and we got a good feeling. So when he accepted me, I was like, okay, let's go. And then I was like, where is SAGA? What is it? And when here, I was surprised actually by the student life here. It's quite international, with many people mostly from Asian countries, but you get to learn a lot about the culture. There's many activities inside the universities here, more than what we have in Tunisia. Actually, sadly, I wish if in Tunisia we had as much sports events. Also, we have nice opportunities to make international conferences. There are, to be honest, also there are more material provided, like more funds for research and for funding this kind of things. I honestly wish if we had as much in Tunisia, but let's admit it, like Japan has really good level in that. Also, the collaboration with Japanese students is really good. It helped us to exchange, to learn from each other. Now, I would like to talk about laboratory life. In Tunisia, you go into research unit or laboratory when you are in PhD. However, in Japan, it's since your 4th year of university that you can integrate a laboratory. In my laboratory, current laboratory, we have many nationalities, actually currently 7 nationalities, but we had up to 10 nationalities in our laboratory. So even SAGA is a small town, it's not a big city. We have actually very multicultural life in the laboratory. The school year is as follows. It starts in April. In April, if you are doing research design, you have to start thinking about your graduation project from the beginning, and then do some survey, start writing your thesis, and so on. You have also participation in meetings like, in my case, it's Architectural Institute of Japan because I'm an architect, but we have also to participate in competitions, and all that is in the laboratory, within the laboratory. So during the year, there are many activities that are within the university with your classes, but also there are activities with your laboratory. And for all of you guys, if you are joining as a graduate student, master student, or PhD student, you have to join a lab. If you are in undergrad, you will join your laboratory in here. In the laboratory, we have, in my laboratory, for example, we have many topics of research. We do also research abroad, not only in Japan, in Thailand, for example. We also use new technologies. This is my research topic. We use deep learning, for example, for studying the urban environment. Also, we are doing also organic support businesses in small towns, 3D mapping using drones and LIDAR technology. And also we have also a lot of exchange and workshop. We recently organized a workshop here. I'm planning to organize a workshop in Tunisia with Japanese students soon. So this is for the lab life. Now I would like to go on cultural shock. So the cultural shock is really interesting. First thing I've had culture shock on it just when I arrived. It's this. This is a remote control for toilet. So I was in the airport, in Narita airport. I wanted to go to the toilet and I had to take a picture of this because it's literally everywhere. You have so many buttons. At the beginning, it was quite frightening, but then I got used to it, of course. This is also my room when I arrived. It was just a futon on the ground with tatami room. It was really also new for me. And when we arrive in April, it's usually Sakura time. So you can enjoy all those beautiful, very beautiful sceneries. Another culture shock, so the white rice. Eating white rice in Japan is quite common. Actually, when I arrived here, I was wondering why Japanese people eat this rice. It has no taste. But now, actually, I can enjoy the taste of it, and I can also tell you if it's good rice or not, and enjoy really eating it. So there's a lot of cultural shocks. It's not something negative. Actually, it's really positive because you learn to go over your comfort zone and learn to accept other people's cultures and learn from it. Another point I want to say, I thought like Japan was small islands, but actually Japan is bigger than Tunisia. And because it's islands, the distances are really big. Nevertheless, they have a very good transportation system that makes you be able to travel everywhere. Now I would like to talk a little bit about my life in Saga. Actually, Saga is a small town in Kyushu area, but has a very good university. It's like a top 50 university in Japan. It has also many activities. I've done kayaking inside the creeks of the city. We've been picking strawberry, delicious here. This is a kentama. This is like a game we play. You can play there. It's a traditional game. But also there's a lot of activities with the exchange students. We made couscous and some Tunisian couscous and French crepe for 40 students. Sorry, the slide is a little bit. This is Ariake Sea Gat Olympics. It's actually like Olympics in a muddy sea. It was really fun. I also got into calligraphy here. It's so I'm doing calligraphy in here. This is I wrote one time in Arabic, but usually like I'm learning Japanese calligraphy. It's actually very useful to learn Japanese. I also taught French as a side activity. Actually, I didn't really need to have a part-time because mixed scholarship is really enough to live a very comfortable life, especially in Saga. I recommend it definitely to go give more for like a thorough look to smaller towns in Japan, because the cost of life is cheaper and the education level is not that different. Actually, you might be even taken into consideration and cherished more in smaller towns because they have less foreigner students. So you have a smaller community where you can really thrive and enjoy knowing each other, and the university would be really happy to welcome you and give you special attentions, while maybe you'll be just, you know, another international student if you go to a bigger university. So it depends on what you are looking for, to be honest. It depends on what are your goals from studying abroad. So yeah, I was requested actually to teach French most of the time, so I've done it for fun, but actually it was an extra income that allowed me to pay for my travels, because I was traveling a lot before Corona. I will talk about it later. So here it's a balloon festa. It's very specific to Saga prefecture. It has the biggest balloon gathering in Japan. It's really beautiful the morning to see all the balloons going. Another activity I think it's really important is to learn Japanese. Japanese is not mandatory for your research, but if you want to enjoy life with the community, with the local communities, learning Japanese, it will be something that will help you a lot. Thanks to my learning Japanese, I was able actually to go to schools and also teach about Tunisian culture, and in schools as guest lecturers from high schools to universities to also, in this case, for example, nursing school or primary schools. And they are so cute and they're adorable. They want to learn. They're curious about foreigners. Japan is an island, so there's no many foreigners here. So being there, outgoing and doing this kind of activities was really important. Also because thanks to my Japanese, I could go to Tokyo Olympics as a volunteer and do translation for the Tunisian national team and organize meetings for them. It was really enriching experience. And I think if I didn't learn Japanese, I wouldn't be able to do it. And that was actually really nice as well. Another point, I don't think maybe it's very important for everyone, but it's very important for me. From Japan, you can travel around in Asia, in many countries for very low price. So during my studies here, I tried to take the maximum of it. Here it's in Kyushu, in many places. Just staying around in the local area is very beautiful. You can see natural views, hanabi, which is fireworks, and also like making international activities where they invite me to participate to represent Tunisia. There's also Matsuri, which is the local festival here, where they have the floats and they carry them. And also I've been to other Asian countries like Korea, and here it's not Canada, it's Cambodia, sorry, it's Cambodia. So this is for me. I shared with you my experience from my point of view, but I'm looking forward to hear your questions, so you can, and I hope I can answer them. Thank you very much for your listening.
I think we have like more than 1 hour, so we can end the webinar for today, and we are looking forward to receiving your emails, requests, questions, and we would be glad to support you and provide you with the suitable information.